Today we're going to be solving some systems of equations by substitution. So let's try this. Here we've got x by itself. So what we're going to want to do is set this expression, take this expression here, negative 2y plus 8, and we're going to put it in place of the x in the other equation. And what that does for us is it eliminates two unknowns and only gives us an equation with one. So x equals negative 2y plus 8. That's what the top equation says. And so what we're going to do is, in place of this x right here, we're going to write down negative 2y plus 8. And this plus 3y, we're just going to bring down the equal sign of the 12 as well. Well, from that point, we can do some opposite operations. Get y by itself. We can take away this 8 from both sides. And also collect these two terms. Since they have the same variable raised to the same power, we can combine them. And the nice thing about those two is they just leave us with y, the variable, all by itself, all solved for. And it equals 4 because 12 minus 8 makes 4. Well, from that point, we could take this 4 and find out what x is by substituting it back into that top equation. That would be the easiest one. So x equals negative 2 times by 4 plus 8. We do some work there. X equals negative 8 plus 8, which makes 0. So x is 0 when y is 4. So there's our answer, 0, 4. Well, here's another one to try. This time, our top equation doesn't have a variable by itself, but our bottom equation does. So let's go ahead and use this expression that represents y. See, y equals negative 2x minus 6. And let's put this in place of y. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite that top equation. We'll write down 3x plus, but in place of y, we're going to write negative 2x minus 6. And this all equals negative 8. So we'll go ahead and do some work there. And the work we'll do is collecting some terms that are like 3x, negative 2x, and then also we're going to add that 6 to both sides. So this one, just like the last one, once we combine those like terms, we've got the variable solved for. X equals negative 2. So what we need to do now is find out the y value. Well, just take that negative 2 and substitute. Put it in place of x. Maybe in that bottom equation, negative 2 times by x, which is negative 2, minus 6 equals y. So those two negatives make a positive. 4 minus 6 equals y. That makes negative 2. So y is negative 2. X is also negative 2. So we'll just write the answer as an ordered pair, negative 2, negative 2. Well, let's take a look at the last two types of problems. Same sort of thing, just more of the same. Here, we'll take the y minus 4, which is what x is, and we substitute it in for x. Ooh, but we got a problem here. See this 3? We need to triple x. So in order to do this, we need to make sure the expression for x goes in parentheses. So I need to write it as 3 times by y minus 4. And then a minus 2y, and this all equals negative 7. So we need to use that distributive property. Multiply that 3 over the y minus 4. Got to do that first before we can collect like terms. So we now have 3y minus 12 minus 2y equals negative 7. So now we can go ahead and collect some terms. Move a term over and solve. So we're going to collect 3y and negative 2y, but we're also going to add 12 to both sides. So when we go ahead and do this, the 3y minus 2y gives me y, and negative 7 plus 12 gives me 5. So 5 is the answer for y, but we still need to find x. So we have to take that y and substitute it back in for y in the other equation. So we've got x equals 5 minus 4, which is 1. So there's our answer, 1 comma 5. Well, one more problem, similar to the last problem, in that when we do the substitution, we're going to end up having to distribute. So x equals an expression. We're going to take that expression, put it in for x. But we got to be careful. See that 4? We need to take 4 and multiply it by x. Well, x is an expression. So let's go ahead and write what we've got. 4 is being multiplied by x. Well, x is negative 2y minus 1. So I'm going to put that in place of x. And then minus 4y, and this all equals 20. So we're going to go ahead and use that distributive property, multiply the 4 over that sum. It's a sum because they're the same sign. So we have a negative 8y minus 4 minus 4y equals 20. So we're going to go ahead and do some opposite operations and collect some terms. So I see a positive 4 or negative 4 there, so I'm going to have to add 4 to both sides. And I'm also going to collect these two terms with y. They're the same sign, so I need to add those two numbers together. So I end up with a negative 12y equals 24. So we go ahead and do some division here, and we'll get our value of y. So we divide by negative 24, or negative 12, and we end up with y at negative 2. So now we know y, so we need to substitute. Take that y and put it in place of y in the top equation, would be the easiest one. So x equals negative 2 times y, but y is negative 2. So we'll put that in place of it, minus 1. So we do some work there, so again, some opposite operations, and we have ourselves positive 4 minus 1 equals 3. So that's what x is. X is 3 when y is negative 2. So 3, or x comma y is what my ordered pair looks like, so I write down 3 comma negative 2. Well, that's the first part of the homework. We'll do a couple word problems on the second part.